Hi, I'm Steve Oliver and welcome to Landscape Business Blueprint. Now in this video we're going to be talking about how to handle new inquiries over the phone more effectively. This is for your landscape or for your landscape design business. And if you haven't watched it already, I recommend you click on my YouTube username and go back and watch the intro video. It gives you a bit of information on me and my involvement in the landscape industry and what these videos are about in general. Right, rule number one when you're handling your inquiries over the phone is never take the call while you're out and about. Now, particularly if you're driving, of course, chances are you're not supposed to be driving and using your cell phone at the same time. Now, it may depend on what country you live in as to what the local laws and what have you are about that, but it's not a good idea anyway, because in terms of safety you may end up having an accident. But the reason for that, or the other reason in terms of marketing for your business, is you can't give the client the attention they need. And perhaps just jot that down, it's a bit of a writer downer. If you take calls while you're out and about, you can't give the client the attention they need. The chances are you aren't going to have your initial inquiry forms with you, and chances are you're going to be on site or something like that, and you're going to have a concrete mixer grinding away in the background, or power tools going in the background, or you're going to have the wind screaming through your phone. All these kinds of things, and it doesn't add up to a pleasant experience or a professional experience for your potential new client. So rule number one, don't take calls while you're out and about. Right, rule number two, give a session brief. Now, the client may have phoned you in the last 2 or 3 or 4 minutes of their lunch break. And if they're doing that, they're only going to have a few minutes left before they've got to go back to work or get back on duty or whatever it may be, and they're not going to have the time that you need to conduct this phone inquiry or this phone session adequately. So it'll be a bit rushed and you probably have to cut it short and these kinds of things. So give a session brief, it lets the client know how long it's going to take so they can make sure they've got time. If they haven't got time, they can call you back or you can call them back or whatever it may be. But also what it does is an opportunity for you to start to position yourself and to position the client at the same time. So you're positioning yourself in terms of how you conduct your business, so the client gets an outline of how things happen, and you're positioning the client in terms of you finding out what it is they want in their landscape. Because as you're doing this, they'll start to tell you quite a bit about their landscape. Right, rule number three, use a precise inquiry form and script. So you want to develop for yourself an inquiry form which you use over the phone, and you want to develop a series of scripts that you use as well. Now, just as an interesting point or side point, the scripts are really, really important, but they don't want to sound scripted, if that makes sense. It's got to sound like you talking. But you need some guidelines, and you might find that you have to ad-lib a little bit each time you use the script to adapt it to what the client's asking and saying, and these kinds of things. But you need to have a really precise inquiry form and script, so it makes things far more predictable for you as the person who's conducting the over the phone inquiry. So you need to give the right information, and a script and a form allows you to do this. So give the right information, ask the right set of questions, and do it in the right order. So if you do things in the right order, you're going to get a whole different result than if you just blurt out a whole lot of information or ask a whole lot of questions. And more importantly, if you ask the wrong questions at the wrong time, you're going to put the client off. You've got to ask the right set of questions at the right time and in the right order.